Okay, this should be a treat. On the left side, we have Matthew on Cephalid Breakfast. On the right, we have Ed on Dimir Tempo. This is from the game story of Win a Duel. And this was the quarterfinal match, top 8, first round of top 8. Tropical Island Tamio for Matthew. Just kind of left over from our Win a Duel coverage last week. Another top 8 battle. Fatal Push on Tamio. 5 cards in hand for Ed. It is likely going to be a follow-up Wasteland, I guess. Played around Days. Maybe better to waste before the Fatal Push. Unclear. Force pitching Cephalid Illusionist. It seems like Fatal Push was countered. All right. Wasteland takes out Trop. Tamio will attack. Make a clue. Oh my goodness. Well, a complete failure of a clue token for Matthew here, but a brainstorm with Tamio is a success. That's big. Early flipping of Tamio could be a big problem for Ed. Here's a ponder for Ed now. Needs an answer to Tamio. Tamio will close out this game quickly if unchecked. Okay, Tamio up to 6. Time is quickly running out for Ed. Matthew has been making the land drops. Could potentially, with a bunch of cards in hand, have ways to protect Tamio if Ed tries to remove it. We probably need, well, I was going to say we probably need a creature this turn. End step Hedge Maze, though, no creature played by Ed. It could mean Ed has a Bowmaster available. Bowmaster a little awkward. The 1 power on both itself and the Orc army will be shut off by the Tamio's plus ability, so it won't be an effective attacker. There's a Saga is not bad. Another Tamio also not bad.
I thought it would have been. I thought you were looking for lands and stuff.
Oh, try to stream me on lands. That makes sense.
Yeah, because like it was world.
Okay, down ticking Tamio. Grab Force of Will. Okay. So Matthew's slowing things down a little bit. Could have ticked Tamio up to 8 and threatened ultimate, but went for a Force of Will out of the yard. Now the Bowmaster that we kind of predicted hit the stack and force pitching Brainstorm on that. Forcing back is Ed now. Pitching Brazen Borrower. Matthew cracks the clue. Got that clue token out of here. That's not the worst. Tamio gets hit. Tamio drops to 2 loyalty now. Well, things might be coming together for Ed now. Should Matthew have just plus Tamio? Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how this plays out. Already that plus Tamio or minus Tamio on the previous turn for Matthew is looking like a big moment in this game. Thoughtseize resolves. Shuko, Ponder, Savannah. Ponder taken.
The Bowmasters. Goes to 1.
Tamio drops to 1 loyalty.
Oh, I did the.
Starting on the following turn, Matthew could start making some constructs with Urza Saga, which could be a problem. AP says Tamio wearing a Shuko should be a bannable offense. You know, that's something that could also happen here and turn Tamio into a really good blocker for these Bowmasters and Orc armies. And don't forget, Tamio is about to plus probably on the next turn too. Go up to 3 loyalty.
Yeah, I didn't have an upkeep.
Well, let's see what happens next. I'm still liking Matthew's chances in this game. Tamio up to 3. Urza Saga up to 2.
Play Shuko.
There's Shuko. Didn't equip it. A little interesting. It seems wrong to not equip Tamio there.
Oh, it's good.
Unclear what happened there. Now Spellbomb. Yeah, I can't think of any reason, unless there's something I'm missing, that Shuko wouldn't be equipped. It just might be missed. Might have just missed that play. All right, Matthew's going to make a construct. It ended up not really mattering. Terrible construct token, by the way. The Urza Saga ticks up to 3. We're going to make another construct before it pops.
Trigger. Fixed it.
Yeah, it might be a... I can't tell if it's a morph creature or a construct. Ghost Vacuum is found.
Optic Tamio.
Hype Train Conductor Mike liking the construct token, calling it a catstruct in the chat. Interesting taste for Mike in the chat, Hype Train Conductor.
No, equip the Shuko.
All right, the Shuko finally equips to something. It'll be a construct.
No attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Swing for 5. It's pretty hard. It drops to 12.
Can I look at your reserve?
Ghost Vacuum might start emptying out the graveyard now. Could prevent Murktides and stuff like that.
Best.
Yep. Return, yep.
Make Nethergoyfs weaker. That's going to fetch.
Cameo? Sure.
I think if you don't play the cameo, it's hard for you to win the game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Get on the 4.
Step out.
Okay, end step Bowmaster. Hits Tamio, drops it to 4 loyalty. It looks like so far Matthew's kind of patient approach in this game 1 has worked out. The Tamio minus earlier to pick up a Force of Will, and maybe I was a little skeptical of that. But you don't always have to immediately try to win the game with Tamio. And it might be working out here for Matthew. There's another Goyf. It'll be a bit vulnerable to have its power toughness weakened over time by this Ghost Vacuum. No attacks because of the construct on defense. Here's Nadu. That's a big problem.
Equip to the construct. Equip to the
I'm
construct.
trying to cast a actual counter spell.
That was a Narc amoeba. So Shuko is going to get at least 8 triggers here of Nadu. Another Nadu found, a Brainstorm found, Daze, Misty Rainforest, another Nadu, Swords to Plowshares, Nomads and Core. This might be over.
Target the nomads with its own ability. Twice.
What was that? I think what
Prismatic ending.
surprisingly was very good for me was you.
That's a Prismatic Ending and another Nomads and Core.
Put the Shuko back to the construct. I'll move to combat soon.
All right. Ed has seen enough, and I think so has everybody else. Game 1 goes to Matthew. So Matthew up a game here in first round of top 8 of the game Storia 1K. There was a tropical island available for first place. Ed will be on the play. Both players kept 7. Polluted Delta cracked. Thoughtseize, that's a good start. Island, Windswept Heath, Cavern of Souls, Pithing Needle, Tameo, Cephalid Illusionist, Swords to Plowshares. Interesting. Is Tameo the choice here? Probably. Especially after how game 1 went. It's possible Cephalid Illusionist is more a concern depending on Ed's hand.
They were like, they both had Jace, and they were like shuffling, like cracking fetchments back and forth, and one of them pondered off the other person's deck.
Really don't want to go over
Because like they were like,
told me about this. I don't remember how that
because they were just going back like it was going through the time of like they're playing really frantic. And it's like they were like this, like present, and then they were like, oh, ponder off your deck.
Oh shit.
It was like that.
That's sick. How do you even fix that?
I'll go first. It was a it was a crazy fix. Good luck, brother.
Thinking about this Thoughtseize, this feels like an important decision. We don't really know much about Ed's hand right now. We obviously see Matthew's entire hand. It's possible if we take Tameo, Needle will be the first. Okay, so Pithing Needle is the first, is the pick with Thoughtseize. Tameo, Cephalid Illusionist survive. Cavern, Name Wizard, Tameo. I guess that means Ed has an answer for Tameo. Wasteland on the Cavern. Fatal Push on the Tameo. Ezra's is Ed in the chat saying I had double Wasteland in hand. I like the choice. It seems like this is working out early on in this game. Windswept Heath for Matthew. That's a land that can't be wastelanded. Ponder resolving here. Burning Catacombs. Pass the turn.
Surveil?
It's not great. You kept on top with the ponder?
3 of the bottom of those index and in the. I like how I made the cut.
I'll put Force Will in the graveyard.
Ridiculous Archive. Surveil.
22 players. 5, 8, 9, 10. It's 19 there. I just didn't know.
So we know Matthew has Cephalid Illusionist in hand and Swords to Plowshares in hand. Tundra gets milled away. Don't need that at the moment. All right, there's Illusionist. It's a combo piece.
Yeah. Oh, you do. Okay. Just one person on that push.
Yep, trigger.
All right, Fatal Push on the Illusionist. Triggers the Illusionist. Nothing interesting found there. As far as flashbacks or anything like that, not that I saw. Going after Savannah. For the reason that we're seeing this brainstorm right now, it might be better to go after blue. Did we know Matthew had another blue land in hand? I'm trying to think now. I don't remember. But green is not a big part of this breakfast deck. It's possible that it was strictly better to blow up the Meticulous Archive. There was a basic island in hand? Oh, there was. You're right. Okay, fair enough. I forgot about that. Maybe Savannah's a fine choice then. Cut green, prevent Nadus. Fair enough.
You're gonna put Stancio and I'm gonna be like, what?
That's my bad then. I forgot about the basic island. All right, Verdant Catacomb gets cracked here for Ed. As soon as I saw that, is it unstable? No, Unfinity Island. I remembered I had seen it before. So Undercity Sewer, Surveil now. Looks like there's a Murktide in hand, a Force of Will in hand, and a Brainstorm in hand for Ed, I think I saw. Murktide is a... Okay, well, here's Tameo. I was going to say Murktide is a potential way to close out this game. After we've stabilized and are no longer worried about Matthew's breakfast combo stuff. But Tameo's not bad. Ponder for Matthew is a shuffle. That's a good sign if you're cheering for Dimir here. Like when your opponent shuffles, they didn't find what they needed. At least usually. Tundra. Swords on the Tameo. We knew about the swords. So maybe... Oh, and okay, so Ed had a Brainstorm in hand, responding to the swords. This is working out pretty nicely for Ed. Ed appeared to bait the swords with a Tameo. Had this Murktide and Force of Will. I guess in the moment I didn't consider the Brainstorm in response. That's also obviously excellent. And then following up with Murktide. I'm liking Ed's chances here in game 2, I think. This is playing out well for Ed. Next play is a Nomads in Core. 2 loyalty on the Tameo. Can't plus it on your opponent's turn. Is Nomads in Core going to resolve?
I'm gonna get a Tundra and try to sword it through a Tameo.
Ed just did Brainstorm, so he knows what's sitting on top.
If I had one land in my hand, I wouldn't naturally. Maybe it's still
All right, Nomads in Core is going to resolve. Total Alex says can't even use the loyalty abilities at instant speed. Planeswalker sucks. There is one Planeswalker, 2 actually, that can activate at instant speed. Does anybody know which ones? Without looking it up. No Scryfall lookups. First person to get it, gets it. People rushed it. Teferi, Master of Time, and the Wandering Emperor. I don't know if there are any others. I think that's it, right? Hypertron Conductor Mike knows what's up. You have to have every Magic card memorized if you want to play Magic the Gathering at the highest level, like me. Here's Shuko. It is a combo piece. Doesn't combo with Nomads and Core. Nomads and Core, number 2. Well, Matthew has Nomads and Cores, has Shukos, but no sign of Nadu, no sign of Cephalid Illusionist at the moment. 6-6 Murktide on Ed's side. We'll take big chunks out of the life total. Tamio feels well protected here. Okay, down ticking Tamio. Can take Thought Seize and fire it off. Cavern of Souls is the card in hand. That was kind of rough. Cavern of Souls in hand is a bad sign. Although, Energy and Explosives is a great follow-up, actually. Although, Matthew's only card in hand was Cavern of Souls, so Matthew said Nadu, but played Urza Saga just to scare Ed a little bit. So Tamio gets knocked out. Energy and Explosives on 1 was going to blow it up anyway. Potentially. The Nomads and Core and Shukos might be in trouble. Murktide's going to start swinging away. Matthew does have Urza Saga. Murktide trigger was missed. Good catch. Would have been a bigger Murktide. Unclear it's going to... Actually, it could matter quite a bit. This might actually give Matthew a whole other turn. Yeah, it does change the clock. That could be a big error, missing that Murktide trigger. Great catch. So now the Nomads and Cores will attack again. 3 total power. One of them is equipped with Shuko, whereas the Saga can start making a construct now. Energy and Explosives holding off. Cavern comes in.
I've been dropping land for a while. Plus and 6.
Okay, end step, blowing up the Energy and Explosives. That was going to happen probably eventually. Feels fine to do it there. Murktide drops Matthew to 1 now. Nethergoyf has to turn over the next 2 turns. All right. Draws the card, concedes. Moving on to game 3.
One-lander.
We've seen Matthew so far in this game, never attempt the Cephalid combo. We did have Nadu win a game, though. Ed kind of disrupted Matthew quite enough in game 2 and had the Energy and Explosives to kind of seal the deal, which was huge. Sideboard card. Ed thinking about this mulligan. I see a Nile Spellbomb in Ed's hand. That could be potentially pretty good. Turn 1 Tamio off a Trop. Pretty good.
Yep.
All right, Fatal Push deals with it right away. Great start for Ed. Now a Ponder for Matthew, looking for new things to do here in game 3.
You know what I mean? So like to think about like the person starting to like that. Like imagining
Fetch. Tundra.
Okay, fetching with a Flooded Strand, getting a Tundra, dropping Nomads and Core. Nomads and Core combo card in this deck, combines with Nadu, combines with Cephalid Illusionist. Does some crazy things. Thanks a lot, Wizards, for the Tempest block. Did a great job. I'm fed up, chat. They keep screwing up. Maybe I'll switch to old school. There were no mistakes back then. Yeah, thanks, Obama. Oh, man. At least there are no mistake cards in old school and middle school. Jerry says Wizards of the Coast didn't care about Legacy back then either. They've been neglecting us for 30 years, Jerry. Mr. Bips wondering how the communist city of NYC is doing today. You know what? I went for a walk earlier. The autumn leaves are falling. It's getting chilly, Chad.
Yeah, those are good hands, but I mean, it's magic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Smelt a little more commie, says Roland. You know, I made some new friends yesterday. Hanging out at a local bar. One of my favorite places to hang. I love this city. Flooded Shrine gets correct. Underground Sea. Nile Spellbomb. All right, Nile Spellbomb will be somewhat effective against the Cephalid Illusionist combo. Urza's Saga comes in. Nadu comes in. Well, Nile Spellbomb doesn't do a whole lot against that. Ed better have an answer for the bird. Oh, doesn't look like he has one. Flooded Strand, Cephalid Illusionist, Cavern of Souls, Naming Wizard, Swords to Plowshares. Things are getting ugly. All right, somebody coughed. They were removed from the venue. Flooded Strand gets cracked. Basic Island.
Target with Nomads. I'm going to do that twice. The Nadu trigger happened first, and the mill happened after. So Nadu. Mill 3. Nadu.
So if my plan is to
Mill 3.
get rid of like a format,
Watching Matthew go off a little bit here. It's not looking good for the good guys, I guess. Can Dimir be the good guys? Nadu found. This is on upkeep now, activating everything again. Ezra says Ed in the chat. Had a Wasteland. Should have wasted to keep him off Nadu. Potentially. We have talked a bit on stream about weaknesses of this breakfast deck. How do you exploit those weaknesses and all that stuff. And one of the weaknesses of the deck, you know, we've gone over this. People are probably sick of me saying it at this point, but one of the weaknesses of the deck is the mana base. And if you can cut them off of mana, sometimes you could be successful at beating their strategy. Death from Above is Matthew in the chat pointing out it was definitely a tough position. Sometimes decisions like that, like, oh, I should have played a Wasteland instead, are so much easier in hindsight. But when you're sitting in the seat playing the game, you're considering your options, and it's, well, Harbinger of the Seas isn't the worst, but Nadu's probably going to still do a lot of damage here. Force of Will found, and maybe the Harbinger's not even going to last on the stack very long. That is the match. Matthew gets it. Moved on to top 4. GG's.